Welcome back to I'm Right, He's Ron with my co-host Tanyel, who is back from her surgery.
Hi guys, look at my nose.
There's no difference.
What do you mean there's no difference?
There is zero difference. It was a pointless surgery, clearly,
No, it
because
wasn't
nothing's changed.
Hey, I asked for closed rhino. I wanted the filler that spread to be removed, and I do feel like there is a difference. I do feel like he added definition. I didn't want too much of a difference though. I didn't want to, what did I say to you? I don't want to look like them girls who look like a whole different person because their nose changes. The nose does change your whole face. And I wanted such a small little change.
Well, it is small because as soon as you walked into the studio, I literally couldn't tell a difference.
You're such an arsehole. Honestly, I like it.
You
Don't
paid
like
how many thousands for what? Fuck all.
No, you can't say that. You little shit. I like it.
I should have done it for you. I would have charged you less.
Oh, shut up. No, guys, you can tell there's a difference. I'm not listening to him. Men don't know anything. They can't see nothing. Literally, I think that it's the smallest change and it's perfect. It's all I wanted. But just bear in mind, yeah, I'm really swollen at the minute. Like, you're not going to see the full result at all right now. Like, the tip's going to lower a little bit. All of this is so swollen. You should have seen me on day one when I took my cast off. It was so awful. I hated it in the beginning. I've only just started to like it and see that it's slowly changing. Stop laughing, you little shit.
Well, the thing in my head is that I'm hoping you're going to allow this, but I'm really hoping Tanyel's going to let us, and you'll see it on the screen now, the pictures that you sent me. Honestly, these pictures are
You lot were dying.
of her with bruised face. It looked like she'd been beaten up. Like, I don't know what this surgeon was doing while she was out cold, just absolutely caving her face in. But she sent a photo of like two black eyes. Her face was like an Oompa Loompa. It was the most swollen thing I've ever seen, with like all these bandages over. And I thought, well, he gave it all the talk last time, talking in the episode about like, oh, it's like non-invasive, like it's all fine, like there's gonna be no there's no, I don't know, whatever. They're hardly gonna do anything to it. All of a sudden, she sends me photos where her face had completely changed, bruised, battered, the lot. And I thought, well, I'm not sure this is as invasive as it was funny.
But do you know what? I don't know why I come out so fucked. It was fucked. Like, I was fucked. Honestly, my face was a joke. One day, yeah, let me tell you something. One day, I cried so bad. Yeah. I cried, no joke, for 1 hour. Do you know why?
I would as well if I looked like that.
I cried so bad because one day I couldn't open my eyes. The pain, my eyelashes, because my eyes were so swollen, my eyelashes turned in and they were poking my eyes. Like, I couldn't believe how swollen I was. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I can't believe what this has done to me. You know, when people say, yeah, oh, it's an easy little journey. Oh, it's not painful. This is that. They're the influencers that are taking the freebies. Let me tell you that from now, yeah?
Yeah, that's true.
Because this shit was motherfucking painful.
Well, at least you can hit everyone with the reality of what actually happens on a nose job.
It was so bad. Like, the pain. Oh, honestly, you know what? I'll be honest. It wasn't even too painful. It was more painful here when you first wake up. I actually, when I first woke up, like, thought to myself, it's actually not that bad. It was when it started wearing off, and it was actually more on day 3. It was a swelling that made me die.
Is that when did you ring me? Because honestly, when you rang me, it sounded like you'd had the worst cold. As if you
Day 4.
You couldn't talk. Your voice was as if you were so bunged up that your nose basically didn't exist.
Come, let's show them. I'm going to show you guys.
You're going to do it? You're actually going to give them photos? Right. Photos will be on the screen. I just can't believe you're going to out yourself like this.
I don't even care, you know, because you know what?
Someone who comes in and every time we film is, oh, does it look all right? Like, does my face look all right? Does my makeup look all right? How do I look? All this sort of stuff. And now I'm actually glad that you're going to out yourself and put yourself in a vulnerable position where you're going to be battered and bruised, bandaged up, showing what you actually look like after a nose job.
Do you know what? Because I'm not embarrassed about it. I've already said it, so why am I going to lie about it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's true.
But... oh, it was so bad. But do you know what? I think I done it to myself, because on day 2, I felt better again. I was like, oh, I feel fresh. Let's go shopping.
Well, you were stupid.
Obviously, I've done the wrong thing. So maybe I did do this to myself a little bit, but I went shopping and I just got so tired. And the next thing you knew, my eyes were growing bigger and bigger. My face was getting bigger through the night. And I'm not even joking. Every I'd say I'd wake up every single day. It was at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'd be like, Edis, can you call the lobby? I need eyes. my head, my head has grown bigger. It was so bad. Like I couldn't see. I couldn't open my eyes to see. Like it was so bad. I don't know why I was so swollen. But once, I think it was like day 5, I felt a lot better. It's not even, I wouldn't say it's the most painful thing ever. It's just uncomfortable. I think because it's on your face. Like my ears hurt, my jaw hurt, my teeth hurt. I felt like someone punched my jaw in.
It looked like it. Honestly, it looked like he'd done 12 rounds with Anthony Joshua.
I was sitting in the hairdressers with ice cubes on my eyes, and like I was laughing at myself. I couldn't believe how bad it was. And then out of nowhere, like a week later, gone. Completely fine. Fabulous.
Well, to be honest, it looks exactly the same as before. So I'm interested in seeing it in like 2-3 weeks time when you say it's going to...
Well, it will go down a lot. Like the swelling... Honestly, the swelling was so bad. Like I didn't like my nose when you first take the cast off. Like, and everyone said to me, "You're not gonna like your nose. Be prepared." So I was like, "Okay, calm down, Tan." Like I was so scared. I was like, "Oh my god, I look like a whole different person. This is not what I wanted." And then he literally said to me, "Trust me, in a month's time, you're gonna text me and say you love it." Like this is all swelling. This is not the look of it. The tip's really high. Everything will completely change. And I have heard that from everybody.
Do you notice a difference looking at yourself now?
Yes, of course. I've got.
So you're happy you done it?
Yeah, I've got more
good.
of a tip. The swelling is getting like day by day. It's looking better.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be so happy if it stayed this way because I still find it quite swollen. The tip is a little bit too lifted, but I know that will change and it'll be a lot more subtle. But I never wanted a fake nose.
Yeah.
I never wanted that look. I just wanted my old filler removed that spread everywhere. And he literally said there was so much filler all here and all here that had spread. He removed all of that. And then he just defined it a tiny bit. So I didn't really want a madness compared to like my old nose.
Yeah.
So I'm happy. Like I just wanted a subtle change. But yeah, everyone else though in the waiting room, all the other girls. You was
with other like nose job people?
Yeah. So when I went for my consultation, there was like this other girl, and she goes, "Oh, how was your surgery?" Before I had my surgery, and then obviously Eddie's was like, "I told you, you're stupid. You shouldn't go and do it. You're ruining your face. Like you don't even need to do it. People here actually need nose jobs, and you've got a beautiful nose, and you're gonna go in and get it done."
That's hilarious. People here do actually need nose jobs.
So I had him in my ear, and I thought, "Oh, I wish he didn't come with me. I wish I had like one of my friends with me. You know, like girls, encourage each other a little bit more." And he's just negative in my ear. So then I thought, "Oh, you're giving me anxiety." I was really scared already because I thought I've never done this before. And then the girl was like trying to talk me out of it. Like, "Are you mad? Like, what's wrong with you? Why would you go and get it done? Like, it looks lovely." I even delayed the surgery by a day because I was so scared and I didn't feel completely 100% with the consultation in the beginning, the first time round. So we had another consultation on the second day. And then I just was like, "Listen, I just really need you to know how little and how subtle I want this changed." And I sent him like pictures of pretty girls and I said, "I want their nose." "Do you want me to print it out and show you I want her nose?" And then he was like, "I will give you that nose." So in the end, yeah, it was fine. But the 3D image that they edit for you, by the way, as an example, is so actually, I feel like actually people should never ask for it because it actually throws you off. It's so ugly.
Well, because it looks so different.
Because it's not gonna come out that way.
Yeah.
It's just a 3D image. Like it doesn't show the shadow in this, that. Like if anything, it looks awful. You should never ask for it because it will throw you off of that doctor, if anything, and it just scares you. So my nose looked nothing like that. I was happy in the end. So yeah, I am happy.
Good. Well, I'm glad you're happy because obviously we've posted the first episode and then people have come back now. And the comments, have you seen them?
I know. Do you know what though? I'm actually shocked with how many girls have been so lovely. Like,
the girls are unreal.
I knew people were gonna be like, "You don't need it. You're so pretty. This is that." Like, I rated that. Like, because you know what? Don't be a hater. Like, I love that. So I knew I was gonna get loads of that. But then the little ones, should we read some of them out?
Yeah, go on. Like, so
such
basically,
losers.
So basically, whilst Tan's getting these up, so I would say 95% of girls have all been like, "Oh, you're stunning as it is, but." All the best with the surgery, safe travels, like, you look amazing as it is, right? Proper, like, girls boosting girls. It was great to see, right? Because obviously that's the stuff that you want to see online. Then you had probably a couple of comments from girls that would probably be like, "What are you doing? Like, you shouldn't be promoting plastic surgery. Like, what? Like, just little digs." But then the worst ones, shock, come from blokes.
Yeah.
And
you know what, guys are haters. Let me tell you something. Yeah. It's because you could never have a girl like me. So you know what? If you're trying to make me insecure, brother, yeah, you've only made my head bigger.
Well, it is always you always get right. Whenever we've had hate in the past, it's always from accounts that have 0 posts on private. got like 40 followers and they're just from it almost looks like they've created accounts just to make hate. Like, what are you doing with your day? And there was just a few, because they didn't know about they didn't know what surgery you was having when we uploaded that, like, the episode. So automatically there was just a load of comments where it'd be like blokes being like, oh, she's gonna get a BBL, or she's gonna get this, and she was just or it's plastic surgery to do it. They just thought it was just gonna be anything bad. Like, there was, go on, you can read them out, because honestly, it was bad.
And it's mad because you want to be honest, but then look at what the hate you get.
Yeah.
And the funniest thing is I don't care. I'll still be honest because I don't give a shit for hate. Like, I actually laugh at you fools. So look, getting excited for surgery when people are dying. Tanyel, you're fine how you are. Listen, I feel like it's a dig, but then at the same time, like, they're saying like, Tanyel, you're fine how you are. Okay, I don't think they're trying to be too rude. And then someone's commented back to that saying, people are always dying literally every second. Do you not get excited for anything, like, ever?
Honestly, I thought I was reading these. I was reading these thinking, I think you're missing the point. Like, we get it that there are worse things going on, but we're talking about our lives. We're not talking about like world crisis. You go in and get surgery.
I don't actually know if they were talking about world crisis, because then her response back to that person was, I would, but not if I'm the one putting myself at risk for death. So I think she was trying to say her, like, as in the risk of it for dying. Obviously, I feel like she was maybe talking about both things, though, like people dying in the world. Firstly, there's bad things going on in the world all the time. If there's any way I can help in situations like that, I always do. I am the most caring person ever. Well,
there was one.
Whoa, like, such a Debbie Downer. Like, where did that come from?
Well, so there's one here that I saw, which literally was, I don't know, a couple of hours ago, right? Shock. It was from an account called Peter's Shop, and it's got literally private 40 followers, follows 1,000. So it probably just spams hate to 1,000 people. He went, go and get some education first before surgery, as if she hadn't already researched it. Go and do something good, like help feed the poor, etc. Instead of just worrying about your looks. There's more to life than your looks. And I'm like, do you go around saying that to everyone who gets any form of surgery? Or stop getting surgery because it will benefit you, and just go and focus.
But you know what? Like,
I get it.
Stop messaging me. Why are you not outside feeding the poor?
Yeah, you go do it. Stop commenting hate on people's things.
It's so
and then
stupid.
He actually gave you another dig as well. He went. To be fair, you can kind of take this as a bit of a compliment. The first bit,
I do. I take them all as a compliment. I think it's
she's
hilarious.
all looks, no brain or personality, and no wisdom. That was an interesting one. So
Why
at least
wisdom,
he
I
said,
wonder?
at least he said all looks. So he actually rates you, but no brain, no personality, and no wisdom. I thought the wisdom one was a great one to add on there. I thought that is, normally no brain or personality would probably be like, I get it, but wisdom. Like, what are you expecting, Albert Einstein over here?
Well, you know what? Take that as a compliment too, because that means I look young as well. Thank you, hon.
And then the one he replied to was actually from a girl. It was
so funny.
Again, this was like middle-aged woman. I don't know. She obviously, I don't know, got nothing better to do. A little boa is her name. Ridiculous. Let's just hope she doesn't have a young following, as not a good role model at all. And that's got 3 likes. So, but. Like, yeah, we have a young girl following, but do you not think it's better that we're Tan's actually talking about the research that she did last episode on nose job, the fact that she knew that she didn't need a nose job, but she wanted it to make her feel better. Like, you can get this stuff done. You can get surgeries. Like, it's not an issue.
It's so funny.
It's not like Tan's going out going, right, girls, you need to go get nose jobs, make it look perfect. That is not the message here. So a little boa, whatever your name is, relax yourself a little bit. Go and, I don't know, focus on yourself rather than sending little hate comments. I sat there because it had nothing to do with me. I kind of sat there creasing because I was messaging you at the time.
But you know what's so
have you
funny?
seen these hate comments?
I think it's so funny. I think it's hilarious. I don't care for it at all. There was another one. This wasn't really hate, but 1 second. Where are you? They go, why would you get nose filler in the first place? Fuck my life. You know when someone said something that's too late? Oh, you know what? Thanks for that. Really fucking helped me out.
I was going to say hindsight's a great thing. Jesus Christ.
Oh, you know what? I might just rewind and go back in time, and you know what? Not have got it done.
There's so many people that get stuff done that they're like, oh, I wish I never had that done. But at the time, like when people
But that's
get
why I
surgery
actually
young,
feel like, if anything, I'm being honest about it and saying to girls, like, be careful, because nose filler actually ruined my natural nose that I actually didn't really have a problem with. So be careful, because I've had to now go and do this to completely remove it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
well, that's the only danger. It's like, yeah, I get it. Like having a young female following can be a good thing, a bad thing, because you have to be careful with what you say, because if it's like if you're encouraging people to get it done because they're not happy, if you're really young and you get it in your and you're like, I don't know, when the people sort of grow into, I don't know, 21 you stop growing, call it. If you're getting mad surgery when you're like 16, 18, I don't know, I'd say even up until 25, you don't know how you want your face to look. It's only when you probably get 25, you know that's how you're going to look for a long period of time, that you want something changed. But if you're 18 and going, oh my God, no, I saw she's got a nose job, I'm going to get one too. Your nose will look completely different in 3 years if you just left it as it is. And then if it doesn't and you're still not happy with it, all right, maybe you can then think about the idea if it bothers you that much. But again, it's just about being secure in the way you look anyways. But I'm certainly not sitting here, and Tan's definitely not sitting here going, right, girls, when you're 16, 18, go and get yourself a nose job. Trust me, go Turkey, it will sort your life out. I do find it funny. Like, I think trolls in general, they do crease. We shouldn't laugh at it because it is nasty, but it's I don't know, people just don't know. I don't know why they have it. We used to get it all the
time, but not even trolls. We used to get more like, oh my God, on my engagement, so many people, oh, you two fancy each other, them two must have fucked. Oh, we had such awful DMs and messages. But worse before, like, there was one picture that one posted on my engagement, and the outrage, like, it was bad. Like, these were fucking bad. The comments were awful. They were like, I bet them two were fucking in the toilet. This, that. Like, I couldn't, but I was laughing at all this stuff. I was like, I can't believe that people actually think these things.
It's just, but that brought it back to like the first conversation we ever had on this pod of being like, people can't accept that a bloke can be like, have a girl best mate. They can't accept it because I'm at engagement and I'm at your engagement party and we're posting literally a photo of us two celebrating your engagement. And we was getting comments left, right and centre about, oh, these two have definitely clarted. Like, these two have definitely done this, that and the other. And I'm just thinking, what are you, like, firstly, why are you commenting it? Like, why do you feel the need for it? If you're not going to say, if you got, my dad always says, if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. Yeah, 100%. But I get it. You're always going to get hate. People are bored.
People are bored.
I don't get, like.
I find it so funny. Like, and obviously they say like bad press, like bad hate, whatever is always good. You know what I mean? Like, who cares?
Well, I don't mind these comments because one, they got nothing to do with me, and also it's engagement, so I keep it coming. But it is peak, and it's good. It's good that you can take it on the chin.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what? I am such a secure person. Like I said about this surgery. Like I know that.
Yeah.
I'm not insecure. Girl. I'm a good looking person. I don't like. There's prettier out there. There's always someone more beautiful. I don't care. But I've never been in competition with anyone else. But if I can improve something on myself that I want to, that I didn't even actually feel insecure about, it just annoyed me because I never had that extra width there before. Then why not? Do you know what I mean? But the main thing is people should really just be focusing on if you're a good person. If I was taking it too far with surgery, 100%, do you know what? Then I actually do get that. I can't lie.
Well, according to Peter Shop, you're not a good person. You should be out there feeding. You should be out there feeding the poor. Yeah. So you need to get out there. So you
know what's mad about that? I actually do feed the poor. So what's sad about that is these people actually sit there and like they judge all they want, but you know what? Little do they know.
Yeah,
you little shit.
There you go.
You go feed the poor.
Right, one thing I do want to talk about whilst you've been away that you've probably missed, and your friend's actually involved, which you've probably seen.
I have not missed that. I've watched every bit of it.
Have you watched it?
I just was so bedbound that like this.
Have you watched all of them?
I've watched all of them that I couldn't really. I wanted to actually post about it and talk, but I was getting so angry. I catched up on it a little bit after because halfway through, I can't lie, my eyes were just getting bigger and bigger. So then I couldn't watch all of it. But then I watched the rest when I come home.
So we're talking about the Netflix series Inside, which is I was actually lucky enough to be invited to the premiere of.
Yeah.
That's where I actually met Anna and Mandy for the first time.
They're sweet, innit?
They're so honestly.
I love them.
They crease me. Like they do not give a shit.
Yeah, like, but you know what? That's the best way to be.
They are so funny. So I went to the premiere of that to watch the first episode the day before it came out. Obviously, all of it's aired now. I actually think it's been brilliant. Like the idea, I think, comes from what Foot Asylum did from, what's it called, like Locked In or like it was like Locked In, I think it was, which was a great idea, and they got influencers in there. And then obviously this is done by Sidemen, already a massive, like the biggest group in the UK. And the production has just been brilliant. It's looks
mad. Like I watched the first one and it was so good.
So good. Like it is done so well. No wonder they've put it on. Like no wonder they've managed to get it on Netflix. I think the cast was like a great mix of people. They didn't try and copy. I think I saw Toby, who's one of the Sidemen. He actually said on like a stream that they don't want to do. You know, like how Love Island, they try and get a player for the season, a psycho for the season, or like they try and match these characters. And it just becomes repetitive. They got completely different characters when the inside that they've done season 1.
I love how diverse it is.
It's so good.
It's so diverse. Good. It's so good. I really like how, I don't know, it's just, I think it's so fun. I love how people don't care to turn around and be like, they're just trying to basically win. Like they don't give a fuck.
They're trying to win the money.
What did you think about it though? Let's talk about the personalities on there.
Oh God, where do I start? So I'll give you one thing that I think, I don't know how, well, basically I never knew, I know Millie. So I know Josh and Megan, and I know Millie because I went to her, I think it was her 21st birthday. I went to one of her birthdays like the other year. And she's lovely. Obviously Mandy as well. But then I was at the premiere of it, and this guy who was dressed in top hat, cane, full black suit, basically come up to me and my mate who I was there with, and he introduced. It wasn't great. He came up to me and he introduced, and he went, "Hi, I'm Jason. I'm on Netflix."
What?
That was his first thing saying to me. And I don't really respond well to people that are like that.
They just love them.
Like I get it, like I don't know, it's all like an act.
But you know what? He could just be socially awkward. You know, some people are a bit like that.
Nah, he's not.
Oh, okay.
Trust me, he came in and he was like, "Hi, I'm Jason. I'm on Netflix now." I literally just went, "All right, mate, crack on." And then I learned that it was the Jason. You know, that Asian guy.
I get so confused with the boys on there for some reason.
Blonde hair. He's a streamer.
Yeah, no, I know which one you're talking about. Dylan's the one that went out first.
Yeah, so him, I didn't meet, but he seems like such a lovely bloke. But I think he was a bit. What it seems like, he was a bit taken back by the mad personalities that were there, and it just wasn't his scene.
Yeah,
like because he seems like such a nice guy, so successful outside, but there's too many big personalities for him to deal with. Like. Yeah. I think it was Mandy who said they're up till whatever time in the morning, like late in the evening, like playing games and all bonding, and he's going to bed. And that was the reason why they voted him out. But so what? Who cares? Do you know what I mean? Like he just wants to do his thing. It was how diverse it was really interesting. I couldn't believe they'd landed someone like Patrice Evra.
Yeah.
Like, did you know who that is?
No. Yeah. Not. Who is he?
He's probably
he's sweet though.
Probably one of I'd say he's in the top 5 best left backs in Premier League ever. Like he was one of the best footballers for Man United. Yeah. And he is a legend of the game. Obviously he does like funny videos now. He does like a lot of sports stuff. But to land someone like that who's such a big person and already caked anyways, just for him to go on like an adventure like that and still do quite well on it, to be fair. I just thought that's insane. I didn't know who that DDG was. I think I'm a bit out of touch with that stuff.
I don't know.
I see that Whitney's getting a lot of backlash.
I know. I do feel a bit sorry for her though. If you want to cuss someone, cuss them. Yeah. Why do you have to bring skin color into it? Like you're a weirdo. You're actually weirdo.
They've been brutal with her.
It's too deep. And do you know what? Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it's true. I think if people weren't to be doing crazy stuff and saying outrageous things and to do certain things, the show would be shit.
I think
they need it for entertainment. But yes,
I think she's outspoken. That's all.
I looked at a few of the things that she said on there, and I was like, oh God, like I wouldn't like it. There was actually one clip. I think it was the Mean Girl thing where she was basically comparing like, oh, let's not compare Mandy to Dylan.
Yeah.
And then George Clark, who seemed absolutely lovely, by the way, on the whole series, called her out for it. And he's not an outspoken person. You can tell he doesn't really like that.
No, he's really sweet.
But I think he was right for calling that out.
Yeah.
Because Yeah, it is mean.
And
but
a bit
then she
what she
flipped
did to
it.
Millie as well.
But he what?
With Millie as well.
Yeah, but this is where I didn't agree. Like Whitney did flip it, where she was like, "Oh, don't do this whole mean girl storyline,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Well, what you said is a bit mean." So
I think because in her
just be
defense, she's trying to
careful.
just be. I think she's just outspoken.
Yeah, but sometimes there's outspoken, but then you have to understand that that's going to come with rap.
Yeah,
It's like if
yeah.
we say something or our opinions on the pod, someone could come for us for it.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
and
true.
we have to take the brunt of that. Like,
Yeah, no, I get your point, but just not to that level.
just
of hate.
don't be mean or rude. You can be outspoken, share your opinion. Don't be
Yeah.
mean or rude. Would you, if you was on the show, would you be a spender?
Obviously, I'm a tourist. You voted me as the most materialistic.
Yeah, but
person
what I'm
ever.
saying is that if you're, so you say materialistic, but remember, there's a meal up for grabs. Like, yeah, you're not going to get $1 million, but would you not spend to make sure that if you did have a chance of winning, that you was actually going to get more? Because PK
No,
only
'cause-
won 90k.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong.
Can I say something? No.
Don't-
Did you see that whole PK and Mandy thing?
Oh, it was brilliant. One of the best things I've seen
So
this
I
week.
can't lie. He fucking pissed me off. PK idiot.
Oh, really?
Bruv. PK idiot. Pissed me off. But obviously that's because Mandy's my friend. So when I was
Yeah.
watching it, I'm like bedbound. Yeah, I watched half of
Yeah.
it here, like I said, when I got better. But it really pissed me off. I got my back up. Like the first few days when she was in there and they were on the table, I don't care what no one else says, yeah, they were picking on her. They were fully picking on Mandy. I did not rate that at all.
Yeah, about the spending.
The only one to back her was Farrah.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
such
actually,
a
I saw
sweet
that.
girl, yeah. She come across so sweet. I don't care when people sit there and say, "Oh, she's loud, annoying." This is that. Obviously, I ain't lived with her. I don't know her.
But that's her TikTok personality.
Yeah, of course. But you can tell she is one of the most genuine people in that house, and she's so caring and lovely.
I agree.
So sweet. And she's religious and cute. I love her. But I really liked her on there. And like just how she was backing Mandy as well. Like I did not rate that at all. Like I feel like everyone was going for her. And you know when everyone's going for someone, even if you think they're wrong, which she actually really wasn't wrong there at all, yeah, that proper got manipulated onto her. Why all of you sit there and say nothing?
Yeah, no, I agree. The thing, basically, when I was watching the episode, because I ended up binging it, and I was like, right, I get it the first couple of times, like PK's spending money, it's funny, like he's doing it secretly, like he's doing it all in secret. Crease, made me laugh the first couple of times. And then when he kept doing it, but then kept calling Mandy out for spending or kept calling someone else and then getting her voted out for spending. Like, I think he planted the massive chocolate bar in her drawer, whatever. And I was like, right, now you're doing my head in because I get it. You've been funny. It was funny the first couple of times, but now it's a bit, okay, you can see you're going for the win. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, yeah, you're going to go for the money, but don't be nasty about it because Mandy ended up going basically because she was a spender.
Listen, I get it. The aim of the game is you want to, in that game, it's not like Big Brother or anything else. You've got to be a bit, no, but you got to be a bit sly and you got to win.
Yeah.
But he was out to get her. I don't like how he was out to get her. It was like he had something against her. It was bare weird. Honestly, I found that so weird. Like, pick on someone else.
Well, the
Do you know what I
reunion
mean?
kind of sussed that because they basically went into like a bit of a beefing battle where...
And the botched BBL comment. Listen, I know she cussed him first and I know Mandy probably asked for it. But all I'm saying is, yeah, that's disgusting. Like, cuss her botched BBL, yeah. But if that's what you call a botched BBL, I would happily have that any day. I don't think it's bad at all. I think she's got a lovely body.
Did you see his comment while now she's in Maldives? Did you see his comment?
Yeah.
I know. He goes, I take it back.
Listen,
so obviously they are friends about it.
I know they've made up.
Yeah.
I know they're fine now.
It's 'cause
but
it's basically any bloke took PK's side was like, oh, the BBL comment was crease.
Yeah.
Any girl would take Mandy's side and be like, no, that's actually personal. That's horrible. And then she was right in saying blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like a them versus us, where really they're both in the wrong for shouting at each other. But it made great TV and they're still mates now. Like they're joking about it on socials. Either way, overall, honestly, inside, I mean, I'm assuming it's a success because I'm pretty sure it was either number 1 or number 2 on, I think it was number 2 on Netflix because the other series, which you probably haven't watched, there's a reason why that was number 1. That Adolescence.
Oh, I haven't watched that. Tell me a little bit about it.
It's blown up. Like governments they're creating, basically, I saw it today, they're now going to put it in schools about anti-misogynistic behaviour in boys and they're going to teach it to boys. So basically, everyone that's probably seen, and I'm going to assume that probably 90% of everyone watching has seen Adolescence, right? But Tan hasn't watched it. So I think I've got the last episode left, and I've learned a lot from this. So Adolescence is about this young boy who I think's 13.
Yeah.
He basically murders this other young girl because of, and I may get some of this wrong, by the way. This is just my understanding so far because I'm still learning about it. But have you ever heard of the red pill community and incel?
I think so, but I can't remember it.
So I literally had no idea, by the way. Maybe that's me being a bit older or like not Gen Z enough.
Yeah.
But so incel, I learn, is they're self-celibate. I think that's what it is. They're self-celibate. So they basically, there's this rule they kept going on about, which is the 80-20, which is 80% of girls only fancy and only go with 20% of the male population because they're the good looking ones, they're the ones that do well with this sort of stuff. So all of the girls are basically taken up by this 20% of men. So it means that all of these other boys are basically I might be wrong on some of this, by the way, so don't call me out for this, but then they basically turn incel. So then what happens is, because of this,
is incel?
Incel is like self-celibate. Basically, they end up just being virgins. They can't get girls because all the girls are taken up by the good-looking, like successful 20% of men.
Are they virgins because they've never slept with anyone?
Yeah, that's what virgin is.
I know. I know that, but you're saying it's like a movie. I'm so confused.
It's actually a term. So they're basically turned.
Is this real life?
Yes, so it's based on a true story. Sorry,
By the way, I know what a virgin is. I'm saying, like, I don't know if what you're watching is like a film where they turn back into something. You're saying it in a weird way.
No. It is based on a true story, I'm sure. Basically, I can't remember his name now.
That can't be true. No one out there is a virgin at a grown.
Yes, yes, there is. Trust me, there's.
At what age?
Like all ages, there's loads of people that are virgins. Like not everyone. Whatever. Are you a virgin? It's a different subject, right? So, it was based on a true story where a 13-year-old stabbed a young girl, based on this. I can't remember whether it was up north or London. I don't know. I didn't read too much of the background. I've just been seeing what's online. And there's the red pill community. Now, the red pill community is basically this misogynistic, I think it's like this alpha misogynistic community that stemmed from, the likes of like Andrew Tate, and the likes of, I guess, HS Tiki and all those sort of people that basically talk terribly about women, like always talk about sex, talk about girls like in really horrible ways, etc. And it comes from Andrew Tate talking about men need to be this alpha, men need to do this, it's not a case of going back to just being traditional men. They take it one step further and they are so disrespectful. And all of these young boys that are in school, and probably not even just all young boys, I think even like 20 to 25 year olds are probably getting themselves trapped into it, where they're listening to these horrible, horrible people like the Tates, like the HS, all these people, right?
Do you like...
No, absolutely not.
Andrew Tate.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
They are misogynistic. Like they are misogynists or whatever it is.
People call you that.
Yeah, but they don't. They're just whatever. I don't know why. But basically, there are people like Andrew Tate that are basically encouraging and starting this generation of making all this, like, they're selling all these programs, telling men to treat women a certain way, talk to them a disrespectful way. They're completely lost track of what it's about to be a true gent, and they've just gone the extreme. And all these young kids are now basically feeding into this community, feeding into this thing, talking to girls the way they do, treating girls the way, seeing girls that way. And what happens is, when that's combined with this whole incel behavior about the fact that they can't get girls because 80% of girls are going to the 20% of men, they then end up like this kid did, where he ended up stabbing this girl because she wouldn't be with him.
What?
Yeah. That's why he committed the crime, because...
But they don't encourage them to do that.
No, they don't encourage it, but it's a mentality of like a young... It's this mentality that's now so dangerous that people are now... It has created this horrible, horrible thing for young kids.
Yeah.
It is actually shocking. Like, I think you could go to any, or the majority of any from 13 to 18-year-old boys in school, and I swear to God, all of them will listen to Andrew Tate stuff. They'll listen to... I don't know, HS, they'll listen to all these people. Like, there's groups of lads on YouTube and TikTok and things like that go to Marbella, and their whole content is based around just pulling birds.
Yeah.
And it's quite disgusting. The way they treat girls is just not in a gent way. Loads of other issues around the subject anyways, but basing on Adolescence, it's a story about it. But another meaning is that they are now trying to educate on what impacts like the parents have had, I guess, unknowingly towards the son. So my understanding of Adolescence, because it's only 4 episodes, is that even though the young boy did this because of all this community and all the hate that he was getting bullied online and Instagram, and she was like making comments and all this sort of stuff, right? And it's all spiraling. But also there's a couple of clips or a couple of bits in the series where the dad, whilst he's going through all this stuff where his son is basically going to be in prison and going through this case, he then starts shouting at his wife and daughter because he's so stressed and everything else. And he's talking to them in a very controlling way, being like, get in the car, like do this thing. There's loads of bits to it. But obviously he seems like such a lovely man because he cares so much and he's stressed. But those little signals of him talking to his wife like that and talking to his daughter in that way, even though he seemed to be quite caring, but just those little signals may stem through to the son that also doesn't help this behavior. It is honestly, Adolescence has been one of the most, I think it's probably the most viral thing this year that I can remember, probably because it's recent. But it's been most influential in, honestly, it's gone mental. You need to watch it.
I need to watch that.
It's insane. And I think it's made, like, I know I'm not misogynist. I know I'm a gen.
Yeah.
People may say otherwise or whatever, but I know the people around me agree.
No, more than anything, you're a good person.
Yeah. I'm a traditional in that sense where I will hold the door open for someone. I will open the car door. I will do those nice things. And people might say, oh, like some girls might hate that. They might say, oh, I'm independent and I don't need that.
Well, hold the door for yourself, bitch.
But that's
slam in their face.
Exactly. But that's a whole different thing. Whereas I know I can't stand the way they talk about. I think it's disgusting, and I do think there is some education that needs to be done on this. It's just, it's quite a big thing. They want to introduce it into class in schools. But I swear to God, if there was like students that were watching this episode, I'm not sure they had to respond to it. It's deep. It's heavy
So was there
series.
anything good about? What else was there? Tell me more.
I think it's more of an education, but it's more awareness that this exists. I had no idea about this red pill thing. I had no idea about this incel thing. I'm so out of touch with these youngsters. I've done talks in schools, and my impression is that they all just want to become influencers and YouTubers because that's what this world's come to now. And I guess I'm part of the problem with that. But that's why I try and educate people on having that as a side hustle until it can become a career, regardless. But honestly, this red pill incel thing blew my mind. The fact that kids are like this, and it made me feel really old because there's actually a clip in there where different coloured love hearts meet different things. So like red love heart means love.
Yeah.
Purple love heart means horny. Blue means best mate or like friend. Yellow yellow means interested. Orange means something. Basically, there's so many different meanings for like emojis and so many different meanings for like all these things. You know what? Like kids talk these days. Like there's this people say like skibbity doo or whatever they say. Like apparently it's meant to be like slang these days. I don't know. Apparently, yeah. There's all these different slang that have just become mental, right? But it's just It's just awareness that blokes these days or young boys are in some serious. There's a serious problem that's going to be the next 5-10 years if they don't somehow educate it and snap this out.
Yeah,
but I don't know how they're going to do it.
I have noticed a lot of men changing now. Like I've noticed there's a lot more people now that are just like a lot more men now. I've noticed are arrogant, cocky, think that the woman has to do her role. And you know what? I'm quite traditional like that. So I'm very like, if anyone's going to be fair about this, it's me. Like I'm always like, I don't think that's the problem as long as you have someone who respects you and treats you really well, blah, blah, blah. And like I always get comments sometimes, like even under the money thing that I addressed once when I said I think like most like men should pay for a majority of things, and a lot of men are like, oh, but I bet you're not a proper woman, and this is that. Actually, I fucking am, and like when it comes to stuff like that, like my morals and everything, you know that. Do you know what I mean? But I've just noticed that in this day and age, a lot more men are becoming very much like, you stay the woman, you do your role in that sense, but I can cheat on you and I can go outside and do X, Y, Z and control you. Like, they're a lot more narcissistic now than they used to be. I don't think everyone is,
I think,
of course, but I just think that it is becoming more and more of that. And I do think the likes of, like, how you said, like, Andrew Tate and them kind of people speak in the way they do. Boys try and be like them, but you don't have, like, they're completely two different people. They have a lot more money as well, so they think that they have more
they're
control.
a horrible role model. Horrible
but they
role
think
model.
that because they have so much money, and like, it's sad because women love it. They go run into that. But do you know what's sad? Like, I just would not want that for myself. And I'm someone who's so driven and I love money, but I'll work for that if I can't get that from me and my partner. Do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna be with someone who treats me like that and degrades me if just because they've got money.
The way I look at it, and I do think it stems from, yes, unfortunately it comes from like education and schooling, because it's about the environment that you're in. But a lot of it's down to parental control.
Yeah.
There's a lot less parental control. Like, think back when I was a kid, my first phone I got when I was like 13, 14 was a bloody Sharp.
Yeah.
Like, you could just text and play Snake.
Yeah.
You know, like everyone back then, none of this existed. Social media and things like that. Facebook, like the worst thing we used to do on Facebook that comes anywhere close was like for a rate. We used to rate people out of 10 or give like, oh, one bad thing, one good thing. It was like all harmless fun. Now they have access to all this stuff, and you've got these terrible role models like the Tates, all this stuff, where their brand is built on clips, built on engagement, built on these controversial things. Yes, they will say that they're trying to teach men to take back control and to be successful and earn money, but in the wrong way. They're doing it in a wrong way, where they're also encouraging these people to treat people like shit.
Yeah.
And it is horrid. Like, it is scary. Like, I would be scared if I was raising a kid. I wouldn't want him to be on a phone until he was the age of like 16.
Yeah.
I'd want to control so much, because I wouldn't even want him to go to a school where I know there's going to be loads of kids around him that will be talking about all this sort of stuff. Who knows? It will be worse in 10 years.
Yeah.
It's scary, man.
It's so fucked how the world has changed. Honestly, like, I always say this. I feel like this generation is so bad.
Honestly,
like,
it's scary. It really does worry me.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what it's like to be like around 18-year-olds or people that are less. We don't know what kids are doing. We haven't got kids of our own to worry about. My parents don't have to worry about, they have their own worries about me, but like in terms of like, oh, if I'm staying out late or if I'm like going to get home safe, you know, they worry about that stuff. They don't need to worry about me absolutely saying all this stuff and treating, it's weird. But honestly, if you haven't watched it already, go and watch it. It's a bit heavy, so don't watch it on like a Sunday evening, but watch it. And if you're a parent, because we do have quite a lot of like, I don't know, I guess parents that follow us and listen to our stuff, maybe sit down and actually show your son that and take a little bit of care and consideration with
100%.
how they are.
I met this lady the other day, as in I was out getting my nails done, and she was at the same shop as me, and she was like, "Oh, make sure she don't give my son a phone." And I was like, "Oh, how comes?" Like, I just butted in. I was like, "How comes?" And she was like, my son's never been on a phone. We don't even let the TV around him in the house." I swear to you, I rate her so much. And she's a single parent, not putting that down at all, but she could easily be like, "I'm so stressed, I'm trying to do it all on my own." Just put them on the TV, like put them next to the TV or give them my phone just to shut them up. Do you know what I mean?
We've got iPad kids
people
these
do
days.
that. She's like, "No, not at all." I rate her so much. That is what you call
I
a
like
proper
that.
woman. Honestly.
Old school traditional parenting
Proper
has
old
obviously
school
died
traditional,
now.
because there's nothing wrong with that either. But unfortunately, like you said, it's so scary what they learn these days that I rate her for that.
Yeah.
I feel like I might do the same thing.
Madness. It is crazy, but we can't do anything. We can only, I guess, raise a little bit of awareness and talk about it. But luckily, we don't have kids that we need to break up, that we need to raise.
Yeah.
So, well, I don't have any kids on the way. You?
Yeah. I hope
No,
not.
you're all good.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. But I guess that is probably a perfect time to wrap up.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess watch Adolescence, watch Inside. They're both on Netflix.
Yeah.
They are great series, both very, very different and for two different moods.
And carry on sending me hate.
Yes, and carrying on, engaging on the posts. Maybe lay off on the hate a little bit. Maybe, you know, let's not encourage hate.
As much as I'm taking the piss out of everyone, I really don't care. Like, genuinely, I'm actually not trying to hate on you lot.
Well, there you go.
Hate on you lot back.
But yeah, and then we'll be back next week with another episode of I'm Right, He's Wrong.
Make sure to like and subscribe.